Welcome to all the students once again. In the previous lecture, we have started the second chapter, that is strategic financial planning. In that, the first part was done, and today we will do the second part of this chapter. So let us begin with the second part of this chapter. In this, we will see the capitalization, in which we will see the meaning and definition of capitalization and types of capitalization. So let us see what is the meaning and definition of capitalization. See, capitalization is an integral part of financial planning. The term capitalization comes from the word capital, and in common practice, it refers to the total amount of capital employed in a business. Capitalization of a company means the combination of both owned and borrowed capital. Therefore, one can say that capitalization equals to ownership capital plus long-term loan capital, or capitalization equals to share capital plus free reserves plus debentures plus long-term loans. So, according to C.W. Gustenberg, capitalization comprises ownership capital, which includes capital stock and surplus in whatever form it may appear, and borrowed capital, which consists of bonds or similar evidence of long-term debt. So, in a simple way, we can say that capitalization is the combination of ownership capital and the long-term capital. Okay. So, in this way, we can say that capitalization refers to the process of determining the plan of financing. It includes not merely the determination of the quantity of finance required for a company, but also the decision about the quality of finance. So, in this sense, we can say that capitalization includes estimating the total amount of capital to be raised, मतलब कितना capital raise करना है business को. Secondly, determining the type of securities to be issued. कौन सी type of securities, what type of securities to be issued, okay, whether it should be a share capital or debentures or bonds, etc. And determining the composition or proportion of the various securities to be issued. कौन से combination को हमें अपनाना है, कितना हमें owned capital चाहिए, कितना ratio of हमें long term capital चाहिए. So basically these are the three things: estimating the total amount of capital to be raised, then secondly determining the securities to be issued, and thirdly we can say the determining the composition or proportion of the various securities to be issued. So this is what your capitalization means. In the next we will see the types of capitalization. See, first one is overcapitalization, next one is your undercapitalization, and the last one is your optimum capitalization. So these are the three types of capitalization. First one is overcapitalization, second undercapitalization, and the third one is optimum capitalization. So we will see these three types of capitalization in detail. So first we will begin with the overcapitalization. See, the term overcapitalization in simple words means the firm's inability to earn a reasonable income on its funds or investments. Means जितना भी बिजनेस ने या फर्म ने पैसा लगाया था अपनी कंपनी में, उसको उसके हिसाब से उसका रिटर्न नहीं मिला है, या जो फंड्स उसने लगाए थे उसका अच्छे से यूज नहीं हुआ है. That is the meaning of overcapitalization. Okay. So C.W. Gustenberg opines that a corporation is overcapitalized when its earnings are not large enough to yield a fair return on the amount of stocks and bonds that have been issued. आपने इतना पैसा लगाया, इतना कैपिटल रेज किया, बट आपको उसके हिसाब से अर्निंग्स नहीं अर्न हुए. So that is the case of overcapitalization. Okay. In other words, overcapitalization is a state of affairs in which the amount of issued shares is much more than the requirement of the company. Consequently, because of this, the rate of dividend diminishes and the value of the shares in the market also goes down. So it simply means that the existing capital has not been effectively utilized in the business. जितना भी पैसा लगा है या जितना भी फंड्स या जितना भी कैपिटल रेज्ड हुआ है वो अच्छे से यूज नहीं हो पाया है कंपनी में. That is why this is the condition of overcapitalization. Okay. Now we will see what are the causes of this overcapitalization. Okay. So first one is over issue of capital. See, if a company issues more capital than what is actually required, then this excess lead to overcapitalization, because it cannot be profitably utilized, and moreover dividend will have to be paid on it, which would be unnecessary burden on the corporation. So over issue of capital is the first cause for the overcapitalization. Next comes your acquiring assets at inflated prices. Assets may be acquired at inflated prices or at a time when the prices were at their peak. So in both the cases, the real value of the company is below its book value and the earnings are very low. Now third comes formation during the boom period. See, if the establishment of a company or the expansion of the existing concern takes place during the boom period, it may be a victim of overcapitalization. वो कैसे? Because the assets are acquired at fabulous prices, but when boom conditions cease, price of the products decline, resulting in lower earnings. So the value or the original value of assets remains in books while the earning capacity dwindles due to depression. So such a state of affairs results in overcapitalization. So next comes your heavy promotion and organization expenses. A certain degree of overcapitalization may be caused due to the heavy promotion and the issue expenses. If expenses incurred for promotion, issue and underwriting of shares, promoters' remuneration, etc. prove to be higher compared to the benefits they provide, the enterprise will find itself overcapitalized. So this is the fourth reason of overcapitalization. Next comes shortage or lack of capital. See, sometimes overcapitalization may be the outgrowth of shortage of capital. In such circumstances, the company may be compelled to borrow additional capital at a heavy rate of interest. So this would reduce the net earnings available for dividends to shareholders. So this condition basically arises because of shortage and lack of capital. So in this way, lower earnings bring down the value of shares, leading to overcapitalized. Now next comes heavy capital expenditure. See, if a large amount of the company's capital is spent on the purchase of fixed assets and the output is not in proportion to the heavy expenditure, then the excessive operating cost may reduce the gain of the company, and which will result in the overcapitalization condition. Okay. Now next comes defective depreciation policy. See, many companies become overcapitalized because they do not have or do not make adequate provisions for depreciation, replacement of the assets, depreciation or the replacement of the asset. So inadequate depreciation causes inefficiency in the company, which in turn results in its reduced earning capacity. Now next comes liberal dividend policy. A company following too liberal dividend policy continuously for a longer period of time is deprived of the benefits of retained earnings. They neglect even the essential requirements and provisions. It is not a prudent policy as it leads to overcapitalization in the long run when the company's book value of shares fall below their real value. And the last one is taxation policy. See, overcapitalization of an enterprise may also be caused due to excessive taxation by the government. Due to the negative taxation policy, a company's tax liability increases and is left with small residual income for dividend distribution and retention purposes. So this is also one of the reasons for overcapitalization. So these were the 9 reasons or the causes of overcapitalization. Overissue of capital, acquiring assets at inflated prices, formation during the boom period, heavy promotion and organization expenses, shortage or lack of capital, heavy capital expenditure, defective depreciation policy, liberal dividend policy and taxation policy. Okay. Now we will move on to the effects or consequences of overcapitalization. उसके क्या effects होते हैं? So first effect we will see on company. See, the market price of the equity shares fall, which reduce the credit standing of the company. And due to the reduced credit standing, the marketability of future issues of capital is difficult for the company, which will turn make the company lose their reputation and goodwill. So इसका क्या इफेक्ट होता है? इसका डायरेक्टली इफेक्ट होगा कंपनी के रेपुटेशन एंड गुडविल पे. नाउ ऑन द शेयर होल्डर्स. सी, शेयर होल्डर्स डू नॉट गेट अ फेयर रेट ऑफ रिटर्न ऑन देयर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स and market price of shares of an overcapitalized concern falls, due to which shares are not actively traded in the stock exchange. Neither get good return or nor sell the shares. So this is the effect on the shareholders. Now next comes on society at large. So what are the effects of overcapitalization on society? See, First it will result in the increased price of commodity. How come? See, in order to increase the rate of dividend, the company increases the price of the commodity and consequently the consumers suffer. So this is the first way in which a consumer suffers, or a way in which a society suffers. The next comes the loss of quality of good. See, in order to earn more profit, the company tries to reduce the cost of production, and for which the company starts supplying inferior quality of goods. So in this case also, the sufferers are the consumers only. Then next comes decrease in wage rates. See, the company, in order to reduce the cost of production, reduces wage rates, and in this way, workers, the important element of the society, suffers. Then misuse of society's resources. Productivity of such units are less, thus scarce resources are poorly employed. You can't use the resources or the financial resources very properly. So the company is what doing? The company is reducing its productivity, and on the same way it is using the resources of the society not very properly, making it more worse for the society. So these were the effects of overcapitalization on company, on shareholders, and on society. Now we will see the remedies of overcapitalization one by one. First is to have efficient management. See, management should try to become more efficient and try to curb excess expenditure. Earning capacity should be improved and care must be taken to spend every single rupee in the most profitable and the economic manner. So this is the first remedy for the overcapitalization situation. Next comes your redemption of preference shares. See, preference shares carrying high rate of dividend should be redeemed out of retained earnings in order to raise the share of equity shareholders. Next comes reduction of funded debts. Debentures, public deposits, and loans taken at higher rates of interest should be prepared out of accumulated profits or out of fresh borrowings at lower rate of interest if there are no accumulated profits. So in this way also overcapitalization situation can be tackled. And the last one is your reorganization of equity share capital. See, the face value or the number of equity shares may be reduced in order to rectify overcapitalization. Sometimes shareholders may oppose to this proposal, but actually their proportionate interest in the equity is not reduced. Only the shares are reduced or their face values are reduced. Okay. So these are the ways through which overcapitalization situation can be tackled. That is, the first one is to have efficient management, that is to use the resources very properly, redemption of preference shares, reduction of funded debts, and the reorganization of equity share capital. Okay. Now we will see undercapitalization. See, undercapitalization means that the firm's earning capacity is more relation to its actual capital. मतलब जितना कैपिटल फर्म ने इन्वेस्ट किया है या लगाया है या रेस्ट किया है उससे ज़्यादा उसकी अर्निंग कैपेसिटी है. ओके, सो वी कैन से दैट इट इज एग्जैक्टली अपोजिट ऑफ ओवर कैपिटलाइजेशन. अंडर कैपिटलाइजेशन इज नॉट एन इकोनॉमिक प्रॉब्लम but a problem of adjusting the capital structure. It does not mean shortage of funds. It is an indicative of a sound financial position and the good management of the company. So, according to C.W. Gerstenberg, a corporation may be undercapitalized when the rate of profits it is making on the capital is exceptionally high in relation to the returns enjoyed by the similarly situated companies in the same industry, or when it has too little capital with which to conduct its business. So in the simple words, we can say that जितना भी फर्म ने कैपिटल इन्वेस्ट किया है या लगाया है कंपनी में, उससे ज़्यादा उसकी अर्निंग कैपेसिटी है या उससे ज़्यादा वो अर्न कर रही है. सो दैट सिचुएशन इज अंडर कैपिटलाइजेशन सिचुएशन. एंड ये अंडर कैपिटलाइजेशन सिचुएशन एक इंडिकेटिव होता है साउंड फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन का एक कंपनी का और उसके गुड मैनेजमेंट का. एक it is an indicative thing of a company of its good management and better sound financial position in the market. So this is what your undercapitalization means. Now, what are the causes of undercapitalization? The first one is underestimation of earning. See, if earnings of new venture were underestimated and the enterprise was capitalized accordingly, so it may find itself in the state of undercapitalization. Afterwards, when its actual earning turns out to be much more than what was anticipated. मतलब फर्म ने ये सोचा था कि हम लोग इतना अर्न नहीं कर पाएंगे. मतलब you have estimated or the company has estimated that we will not earn that much according to this much of capital which was invested by the company. So because of underestimation, also the undercapitalization situation may occur. Next comes acquisition of assets during recession. Assets might have been acquired at low cost during necessary conditions in the market, and now higher income are being earned by their use. At the time of recession, the company might have purchased the assets, and if the recession has gone or the company is earning a greater amount of interest or the earnings or the investments which were made in the assets during the normal period, normal market situation. So this can be one reason for the undercapitalization. Next comes conservative dividend policy. The management may follow a conservative dividend policy, leaving large funds available for replacement and renovation of the assets and for financing development and expansion purposes. So this would increase the earning capacity of the company. And the last one comes your efficient management. See, by employing new techniques of production and rationalization of production activities, operating efficiency of a company can be improved, which will increase productivity, profitability, and earning capacity. If the management of resources, finance resources, is done very effectively and efficiently, then because of that also undercapitalization situation may occur in the company. Okay, so these were the causes of undercapitalization. Now we will see the effect or consequences of undercapitalization. In this, we will first see the positive effect on shareholders. See, the first can be the profitability of the company may be high, and as a result, the rate of earnings per share will go up. Okay? The shareholders can expect higher dividends regularly, or the financial reputation of the company will increase in the market, and the value of its equity share in the market will go up. So this will indirectly have a positive effect on shareholders because they will get a higher or a good return or a good dividends on their investments. Okay. Next comes effect on the company. See, because of higher profitability, the market value of the company shares would go up, and this would also increase the reputation of the company. Next, it can be workers may demand increase in wages, high rate of bonus, etc. may convert into strike, etc. Or another effect can be high rate of earnings will attract competition in the market, so this will affect the company. Or the tax liability increases because of increase in the volume of profits. So these are the effect on the company. And the last comes effect on society as a whole. So undercapitalization becomes a blessing in disguise for the society as it encourages new entrepreneurs to set up new ventures. It creates or generates more employment opportunities. It helps in increasing the purchasing powers of the consumers who has workers earn more wages in undercapitalized company, and it helps in mobilization of savings and in capital formation. So these are the effect on the shareholders, company, and a society. Now we will see the remedies for undercapitalization. In that, your first comes fresh issue of shares. See, if undercapitalization is due to inadequacy of capital, then it can be corrected by the issue of fresh shares. The company may also redeem its long-term debt by the issue of fresh share capital. So this is the first remedy for the undercapitalization situation. The next is issue of bonus shares. See, the company may issue bonus shares by capitalizing its accumulated earnings. This is the most commonly used and effective method of correcting undercapitalization situation. And the last one is splitting shares. See, another effective method of correcting undercapitalization is to split up the existing shares into larger number of shares, reducing the value of each shares. It neither affects the total earnings of the company nor the total amount of the capital of the company, but still dividend per share shall reduce. So these are the three remedies for undercapitalization. The first one is fresh issue of shares, second is issue of bonus shares, and the last one is splitting shares. Okay. Now next we will see last, that is fair or optimum capitalization. See, fair or optimum capitalization is the situation where the business has employed the correct amount of capital and its earnings are as same as the average rate of earnings. So it should be noted that an optimum capitalization hardly exists in reality. Or capital structure which is found optimum at one point may not be considered optimum at some other point of time. So this is a very difficult situation which is hardly exist in reality. And optimum fair capitalization means whatever the amount of capital has been invested by the company, the same amount of earnings it has been earning. So such a situation is very difficult, or it hardly exists in reality, because what seems to be good or what seems to be fair at one point of time may not be good or fair at the other point of time. So this is what a fair or optimum capitalization means. Okay. So this was the capitalization part of strategic financial planning. And here your second part of the chapter comes to an end. Now in the next lecture, we will see the final third part of the strategic financial planning chapter. Till then, thank you.